I'm a rather private person. When I do share about my overseas property investment with my friends, their usual reaction is, "Wow, you take so much risk." I prefer to invest in something that I can see, I can touch, and can feel. Did I really take too much risk? Hi, this is Lei Ping. I'm a property investor and I own a real estate agency that focuses on marketing Australian properties and helping the investors with support services. My team and I have been doing this for over the last 10 years. In this video, I'm going to share with you why Australian property is the perfect investment for busy and conservative investor like yourself. First, Australia is a well-regulated country with clear rules and regulations. Not only do they have rules and regulations, but they are actually being enforced. It's not like some countries. They may not have the rules and regulations, or they may have the rules and regulations, but they don't enforce them. In Australia, you can find the rules and regulations on the government website in simple English. As a conservative investor, you want to invest in this kind of country so that your interests are protected and you can sleep well at night. This newspaper article shows a Singaporean who invested in a Malaysian property, likely because it's nearby, so he could see, touch, and feel. The property was rented to a veterinarian, supposedly a good quality tenant, and yet the landlord found his house in a very bad condition. This one is about a Singapore property. It was rented to a tenant who didn't pay rent and stayed for 20 months. The landlord had to go through a tough process to get rid of him. And you know what? This dishonest tenant immediately found another rental property to move into. In my opinion, it's not about whether you can see, can touch, can feel your property, whether the property is near to you. It's about whether there are rules and regulations to protect yourself, whether despite your best effort and something happened, is there insurance to protect you? And number three, because you're so busy, is there someone who can handle the affair for you? Someone who's a regulated, registered, and you can trust him. If this thing happened in Australia, the tenant will most likely be blacklisted so that his ability to rent in future is compromised. For you as the landlord, there will be landlord insurance to protect you. Your property manager can handle the whole process for you. For the landlord insurance, the premium is not expensive. It's only about $300 a year and it's tax deductible. I've mentioned in my earlier videos that you should work with CEA registered agents because by law, when we market overseas properties in Singapore, we are supposed to do the due diligence for you. For you as a buyer, you want to ensure that the payment term is safe and secure. For Australian off-plan properties like apartments, the payment term is safe because you only pay a maximum of 10% deposit that is kept in the developer's lawyer's trust account. He cannot use your money for whatever reason. There's no progressive payment and the balance payment is only made during project completion and settlement. If the project is not completed by the sunset date, you get your deposit back with interest. For Singapore private property, the payment term is progressive and is usually fine due to good regulations. However, buyers may potentially get into trouble as well, as reported in this newspaper article. Property is a mid to long-term investment, and busy investors should not overlook the long-term management. In Australia, they have professional property managers, and their job scope is wider than an agent's job in Singapore. I once had a tenant who didn't pay rent, and he even left his items in the property for whatever reason. What my property manager did was to move his things to lock up somewhere, change the lock of the apartment, went to file claims with the landlord insurance and his deposit, and then he put in a new tenant also. And he did all these things without asking me for permission. It's part of his job, and I was very impressed. Australian property investment suits busy and conservative investors like yourself. Our buyers include doctors, lawyers and judges, teachers and lecturers, executives, businessmen, and more. After the initial process is set up, it is autopilot. You can be on a world cruise and nothing will bother you. My team and I will be able to share more with you if you contact us or sign up for our coming seminar. I look forward to seeing you soon.